Oh, I'm glad that's the thing they're holding when they're taking you to the toilet. Oh, anyways. Well, we're going to be going into our first map. Yes, it said Dust 2, but the actual map we're going to be going to is Train as our first one. And then, Tom, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be Vertigo and then Nuke.
Yeah, it is the Observer's Paradise, as we will call it. But already we are into the fight. Olaf about to be surrounded. Nice shot. Has the support of Rain as well. And it is already going to be the CT side kicking things off. But Frozen, again, he picks up a double. The youngster looking to try and fight versus Nico. He's not going to win that battle, and it's left all onto Woxic, and there is nothing he can do. Nico and Rain with a double. Olaf at least with a fancy shot onto Ivy, and it is going to be FaZe kicking things off on that CT side with the first round victory. Ooh, that's interesting. mousesports actually favored.
Yeah, that's always misleading to me, those numbers. I used to always think the higher number was the better one, but I guess it's a little bit like golf. I remember, weren't we casting? Yeah, we're casting Pro League together one of the weeks. And that happened, and it was a little bit embarrassing. But actually, the interesting thing for me is, look at the maps they did play to get here, because we had FaZe play Tai Lu on Vertigo. So they've already had some experience on this map in this tournament, but that could be an upside for mousesports, right? They have some feed, they have some demos to go back and watch and look at.
Are you trying to tell me that watching a Tai Lu demo is something you can learn from?
No, watching FaZe play Vertigo is a demo you can learn from.
Yeah, I suppose. I think that Tai Lu always plays such sort of weird and sporadic Counter-Strike that I don't think FaZe will ever play the same way they did versus Tai Lu that they would against a normal team. But like, at the same time, you are correct. You can always learn something here, Nico. Actually, both players now going down to what is the investment coming out from the T's, and they're bringing this back. It was a heavy investment in. Nico was the only one to sort of save some cash, and now Neo's the only one left. At least gets one, but that's not going to happen, and it is the round turned back by mousesports. They win the force buy, and on a map that has pretty much been a mousesports map for a long, long time. Even with the sort of previous roster they had, it's always been something exciting to watch. An incredible double AWP setup, which has stuck around. They may have got rid of Oscar, but they brought in Woxic, who, well, are just both enjoyable AWPers to watch, really, aren't they? So
I can't think of a single AWPer I don't actually enjoy watching. Because with the same weapon, there's so many people have so many different styles. It's always really cool to see like the little nuances that differentiate between everyone.
I will say that Woxic is especially enjoyable because he is so sort of aggressive and flashy. But here we go, quick rush in towards the site. Neo still manages to get one even after just a fast push in, but Frozen with a double straight back. And well, this round is pretty much over already. You can see the CT side just looking to fall back.
That was a sick shot out of Neo. You caught that, right? He turned around for anti-flash and then pulled a full 180 and then the double dink onto Kerrigan. Like that's not easy to do. That is definitely not easy to do at all. But either way, it's still going to be a mousesports round as Guardian's going to be looking for any exit frags here. Looking to pick up anyone he possibly can. You can see Olaf Meister as well, peeking over the top of the train. Not able to hit the shot onto Woxic. And, well, if his A-Kane is anything like his AWP, he's going to have a fantastic game. Guardian just trying to save the scout, potentially into the next round as Nico, with his deadly Deeg, is going to be rotating back in towards the outside. So mousesports going to be having the early 2-1 lead. Again, if you guys are just joining us, there are 2 streams. We'll be covering this match here. On the other stream, I believe, if I look really quickly, is going to be MIBR up against Liquid. Actually, at the moment, Liquid is in the lead 11-10 over on Mirage. Then they have Dust 2 and Vertigo as the third map if they do need it.
Yeah, but who wants to watch NA Counter-Strike when you can watch EU Counter-Strike? Let's be real. FaZe versus mousesports.
That's one way you could say. I'd say who would want to watch them cast when you can watch us cast, but you know.
Probably quite a few people, if I'm
yeah,
honest.
The second I said that, I was like, wait a minute.
Let's stick with the EU NA like angle rather than the do you want to watch them cast instead of us, because I don't want to fight that one. Here we go. Kerrigan just looking to clean things up. A lot less invested this time, and you have to remember we are still on the old patch. So this is where the AUG is still going to be an absolute tank. Not sure how much it will have changed until we get into competitive play. Guardian still has his scout, and he is slowly getting tagged away. Kerrigan with a triple. I'm sure he's enjoying this at the moment, just farming up his old teammates. Had to do that probably a few times in Counter-Strike after being removed from multiple different teams. But I do have to respect the grind from Kerrigan to always come back. Like, there's been like so many top rosters that have dropped him for someone else. And okay, sometimes it's worked in improving their roster, sometimes it hasn't. And I really like the fact that every single time he seems to land on his feet, and he's picked up some strong talent here. I think Frozen, we were waiting for him to get into a decent team. Obviously, originally he got screwed over just by the fact that he was so young. Okay, well, if I win this match, I qualify for Pro League, which I can't play in because I'm not old enough. And if I lose, then I can't play MDL anymore because they also changed the rules and I'm not allowed to play at that anymore. That was probably quite a tough time for him, but he's definitely landed, well, in mousesports, a team with a lot of talent on it. And from what we've seen so far, they've been looking very good. Although I believe there was a quote from Rops that said, well, basically along the lines of, all right, calm it down a bit. You're hyping us up quite a bit. There's a lot of pressure. This is, again, one of the earlier tournaments for this roster. Give us some time. But to be honest, they've already made it to playoff stage here.
Yeah.
Even if they lose, and they've got off to a good start in this match as well. But here comes the buys.
Just trying to manage our expectations, maybe, is what he's doing there. But you know what? We'll have our own expectations nonetheless. As you said, the first buy run coming through. Not a lot of utility, though, for FaZe Clan, as they have invested into the AUGs and the AWP out of Guardian. I'm expecting to see, I'm hoping to see Guardian have a fantastic match. It's been quite a long time since I've had the ability to cast him. And he was always a legendary player back in 2014 times, and still consider him a legendary player now. We see Woxic with a perfect shot, and Guardian,
sick boost.
Of course, just as I talk about him, as unfortunately not see that bullet coming, and Woxic hit the first kill.
Yeah, Neo, however, will be able to get one back using that deadly AUG, but in the meantime, the T's have managed to get themselves to the bomb side. There's a long rotation coming from Chris J, and it's dependent on whether he'll be too late because the CT side have got very aggressive. They've managed to already take down 2 players. Woxic going to be trying to burn down the clock, but the fact is, it looked like Chris J was going to go for a connector wrap, but maybe just knowing that he won't have enough time to get back in. Instead, they find 2 back just as quickly as they lost them. However, Woxic now left all on his own. There is a kid onto Nico. He's the one holding the AWP, so the defusal actually coming in from Rain, so it will take the 10 seconds. Luckily for him, there is going to be Nico to defend. So FaZe, they have got their second onto the board, but even still a bomb plant and so much money already for mousesports. They're in a comfortable position.
Yeah, especially Woxic, 11K. That's insane stuff to be only 5 rounds in, 6 rounds into the game. But let's see if the FaZe Clan can continue this pace, and as you're saying with Rain and Nico, so I don't think there's a person in the world besides Nico I'd want to, watch my back while I'm going for a defuse. The consistency out of him here hopefully can continue as FaZe Clan are trying to tie things up at 3. But it's still going to be tough. I mean, even after this round, mousesports are still going to have money to buy up into round 7. With the triple AUG and the AK, it's going to be a tough feat.
Ivy control. Gonna be the main aim. Olov will be able to find one. He's quickly traded, and Chris J in with a double straight off the bat. They do still have Nico looking to try and watch in towards Ivy, but you can see there's still multiple players around that side, waiting patiently. Rain gonna try and aggress. Looking like we may see some sort of rotation out from T-side. Rops doing damage through the corner of the wall as well, knowing that the Molotov will have forced Rain into an awkward position. And now, well, they're going running back into this B-side once again. Neo's been good for 1 every time they've come for the cross, and he's going to get it again, at least making things into a 3 versus 3. But utility-wise, this is where the CT side are actually going to struggle.
Well, they've been able to get through Z, though, without being shot out. Woxic missed the first shot. However, Nico not going to be so lucky. Rain! Oh. It's going to fall here, and now Neo on the site, trying to play sneaky beaky-like. Going to run directly into Woxic, and of course, Rops as well. And that will be mousesports taking the round. As you mentioned, the utility really affecting FaZe Clan on that retake. Not only lack of utility, but now lack of money into round 7. But mousesports off to that strong start, and I think I mentioned it yesterday. We're talking about Maniac on Twitter saying he's found the perfect analogy for mousesports. If you take all these different ingredients, you're trying to make something to eat, and you think these things won't work well together, like pineapple on pizza, for instance. And then you try it, and you're like, oh, it's pretty good. That's his analogy for mousesports.
I think a lot of people won't agree with you with the pineapple on pizza, but I think it's okay. I'm sort of indifferent, which makes me even weirder, because most people either love it or hate it. There's no sort of middle ground, but I'm sort of like, it's all right.
You take it or leave it.
If I have a choice between no pizza and that, then I'll choose that. But
yeah, exactly.
If I can choose another pizza, then I'll just go for something else. But I'm quite boring. I actually just quite like margarita, which people find even more annoying.
You use the perfect term on day 1. It's a basic bitch pizza right there. This is going to be a basic buy here at a FaZe clan, as I have a couple of P250s in there, but not really looking to net too much as Nico. Well, he'll be able to at least take down one. Unfortunately, not able to hit a couple of follow-up shots thereafter, but the bomb should be planted here momentarily, as Kerrigan does have it. Still looking to do some damage to this economy. I mean, you still have Rops at 7.5k, you have Woxic still at 7.6. And to have this big bank, so important, I feel like, for the T side, even CT side when it comes to train, just this map in general, having that ability to pull out an op and potentially a double op setup, if you're on the CT side, can really get you a lot of rounds. And I think mousesports are in a really good position at the moment. That's a little bit of a shame for Olafmeister.
No, not even that. Look at the HP. They literally dinked 4 different players and didn't get the kill onto any of them. That is bad luck as it gets for FaZe, but ultimately they'll come back in. Even still, though, they've had this throughout the match so far. In terms of purchases, they've all been kind of underwhelming. Like, obviously, they got themselves the pistol round, and then other than that, it's just been this one.
They've not had, like, full buy-up yet.
Yeah, it's sort of been, like, either there's been utility missing or, well, something of the sort, maybe weaponry. But now it is utility and even armor for Guardian, so still opportunities for mousesports. Peeking in. Their bank, on the other hand, is, well, off the charts, considering what round it is. Oh, nice nade onto Rain as well. He's now stuck in a pretty awkward position. Molotov, oh, we know they can spread. I don't think it's going to spread that far up the ladder. If it does, then he has got very unlucky indeed. And actually just going to try and get aggressive, but it isn't going to work out. I think he knew he was stuck in that scenario, but now his position's actually going to be reclaimed. It's Nico trying the same thing, and Chris J will get him as well. It's only really Neo finding trade frags back at the moment, and he's actually the B player. The rest of the team of mousesports are all just waiting patiently to make their way out onto this site.
3 on 4. It's definitely doable here for FaZe Clan, though. Again, utility, going to be tough. Guardian's got nothing. Only Olafmeister with the flashbang. And he's currently playing over towards Ali. But I do respect the slow play to mousesports. Again, crucial round for them. If they can beat FaZe Clan, they're going to have the economy broken.
He looked away at the wrong moment.
But here we go. Looks like the execute will come in towards the outside. Guardian has a hell of a lot of shots to hit here. And eventually Neo will rotate back in through Z to help out. Molotov's now being thrown, 20 seconds left to go, and mousesports are going to have to pick up the pace. They do technically have the bomb here in the hands of Chris J, but he's low HP. Woxic and Olafmeister are going to trade some damage here. The bomb has been planted. How did what? He hit that shot?
Yeah, he gets the shot onto Woxic, but Chris J is so fast to trade things back that doesn't actually matter, and the remaining players are just going to have to fade out of this round. Olaf's so low, and Neo trying to rotate back in through the connector with all that map control already taken by mousesports. They're going to be getting a 6th round on the board on this T side, and Trainer's been one of those maps at the moment for FaZe. It's not like one that they want to particularly ban. They've had some closer results, like the DreamHack Masters versus Ents. It was like, okay, 16-13, it's not too bad. The only victory they've actually had in the last few months, though, was versus Devils 1, which, again, you're not really going to write too much about that one. Yeah,
okay.
They were Devils 1 at the time, so it's one of those victories that, again, you feel like they should just be able to outgun that team individually. Like, okay, sure, you've got Diho, who's pretty good, but other than that, nobody really matches up to the guys over on FaZe. So winning that match is not really anything too impressive, whereas, well, by the looks of things, it's 100% record for mousesports. Again, they've beaten some so-called lesser teams, like Valiance before they went crazy, and you've got, say, Boot a while ago at IM Sydney, which again is not really anything too impressive. Ex-Space Soldiers, that team had pretty much fallen apart. So sure, there's some weaker teams in there, but being Avangard, a decent team, although
on Train as well.
Yeah, well, no, actually, Train I would say is not
really. I've always heard good things about Jame on
yeah, no, Jame is
Train.
fantastic. Like, he will pull out some ridiculous clutches, but actually, as of recent, that has not been enough for them. Like, you'd see them over at DreamHack Summer, and they actually bombed out of the tournament, and Jame was still getting like 35 kills. They just weren't winning matches. So, also he was saving the AWP an awful lot, but let's not go into that. It was a bit of an issue, and well, a bit of an issue at the moment. Already 6 rounds on the T side for mousesports. This round is just a couple bits invested. Oh, do it to them, Rain. Oh, so close. Now he's going to burn all the way down. Carrigan will punish him for his aggression. Nothing to lose in this round, so can't really blame him. Olaf and Neo are the only ones with much. But you do have a Deeg on Guardian, and we know that he can definitely pull something off with that weapon. At least a kill will be the hope. And just look at this stack. 4 players, the whole roster of FaZe just waiting on this B site. There's been a smoke thrown over towards the connector and some utility being expended by Chris J just to try and bait someone back, and he has succeeded. So one of the players will move away. Nico has now spotted the push, so we should see this rotation back, but they may not particularly matter. Again, Neo's going to pick up his 1 kill of the round. A second actually as well, but shouldn't make too much of a difference unless Olaf can pull off a ridiculous clutch.
I mean, it is Olaf Meister. I feel like almost everyone on the team of FaZe Clan has that potential to really pop off. Let's see. He's got Frozen towards his right to spot the gun, gets the clean kill, gets shot from behind, however. There's no real chance to pull off that round. And mousesports, you know, 9 rounds in, up to a 7-2 lead. Honestly, doing a phenomenal job here. Kerrigan's even at 115 ADR, by the way.
Yeah, this is one of those maps as well that, because of how sort of overpowered the AUG has been, this one has become way more CT-sided. Like, we even saw Train become more CT-sided than Nuke. So,
you say that, and then we see a 7-2 scoreline, which is even more impressive.
I think that's why it has to be highlighted, that this has become a more CT-sided map. So the fact that mousesports have 7 rounds is really worrying if you're a FaZe Clan fan.
This is, though, one of their best buys for FaZe Clan. Like, again, utility a little bit lacking, but we've seen more utility in this round than we had in one of their first gun rounds, where they unfortunately bought it for the AUGs instead of having the extra utility on their side. So this is their chance, right? This is their chance to finally halt this progression, still potentially pull off an 8-7 scoreline if they can somehow do just that. I do wonder, though, as we get over onto Vertigo, onto Nuke, how things could potentially change and how the tides could potentially turn.
Yeah, we have not seen much, if anything, of mousesports on Vertigo, so doesn't necessarily mean they have nothing on it. And I think they almost tried to play the veto a little bit with the way that they were going, just going, okay, let's just ban out Dust 2 because we don't really want to play FaZe on it, and then hope that they don't pick.
Oh, I like that. I like the little change-up, dropping side by side instead of on top of each other.
Yeah, we'll get them the trade, which, in all honesty, is not too bad. The only problem is the clock starting to tick down. It is going to be 40 seconds left as they start their rotation on towards the B site. Guardian up above with that AWP. Actually, one of the players did manage to get past the angle. Frozen with the entry onto Neo as well. That's going to be the bomb planted. And no real presence. The only thing is that flank. Look how close Olaf already is. I don't think they would have expected him to be there that fast. And considering you also have the rotation of Chris J, there is a good chance that he can win them this round. Quick peek in. That will be the first shot. No trade just yet. They're actually blind. They don't know where Olaf's currently coming from, but look at the rotation already back. Rops is going to kill him off. Another shot from Rops as well. In fact, he gets all 3. Clean up from the Estonian to give an 8th round over towards mousesports. And you have to feel like Olaf could have done more there.
Yeah, I mean, the position he had, right? There should have been more. I think he only took down Frozen, and then, unfortunately for him, the flashbang that did come through forced Rops around a corner, so he didn't have an angle on him. Then he got flanked in the end, or had the potential to. But again, mousesports, I thought that was a situation they're going to lose. Like, 9 times out of 10, I want to say mousesports should have lost that round with the position that Olaf Meister had, but the odds were always in their favor. And now up 8-2. The money's still, it's there here for mousesports to buy. It's still going to be a buy that's going to be lacking utility, I feel like. But 8-2. mousesports have to be fairly happy with this. And, you know, maybe they found, like, the magic combo. And I think I saw, I think it was a Thorn tweet I just saw before we came on air that I wanted to actually mention. Talking about you can't just remove a player, like the quote-unquote worst performing player, and add someone else new to expect for things to work out for you. You can't underestimate like the synergies and the subtleties that a player brings to your team. And it seems like they've been able to find that magic formula, you know, with this roster. And Frozen, you know, 9-5 has been performing relatively well. Let's go into round 11 now. You can see mousesports. Looks like they will actually be saving up here as they have 7,600 on Rops, but he has an AK and they have a scout picked up for Olaf Meister. So it looks like they're going into round 12 with a full buy-up. And that can potentially give mousesports 9.
Well, it definitely should, and I think the other thing you need to highlight for mousesports at the moment is their anti-ecos have been pretty good. In fact, their own ecos have been pretty good. It was the second round 4 spy that managed to get them off on this sort of streak of rounds. I think the other thing is they're so clinical. Now it's going to go the other way. Of course it's going to go the other way. I said that they've been good in their anti-ecos, so someone has to step up. The Deegs of FaZe Clan have been brought to life. The Molotovs maybe not so much. Guardian's going to be forced out by his own nade. Everybody does it. Everybody makes mistakes sometimes. Well, luckily for them, it is in a round that they're not really expected to win, although it would have been great if they could, just considering the scenario. It is going to be that cleanup. I'm actually going to be really interested to see what FaZe Clan's Vertigo is actually going to be like. Because although, we've seen them versus Tyloo, I'm never going to take a Tyloo result as something where I'm like, oh yeah. No,
well, it was only 16-12, so it wasn't even like a stomp either.
But yeah, mousesports, I imagine they have put some time in it. I don't believe any team within the top tier at the moment has not given this map some time. It's been in the map pool long enough that it'd be ridiculous if they didn't.
Unless FaZe Clan like has something specifically planned for Vertigo, I feel like if mousesports do win this one relatively one-sided on Train, it's just going to be a momentum map for them. And they could potentially just walk all over FaZe Clan and get that 2-0.
That's what they're trying to do now. Look at Carragher right out, but he's going to be shut out by Guardian instead. Rain, well placed, but eventually overwhelm is Nico
then it took a second.
Flank. He's in a good position here. Already manages to catch out Robs. There's going to have to be something special. Chris J, I think he's waiting for the reload. Perfectly timed. And he gets a second as well. But he has to do everything here. And Olov does the work with the AWP. I thought for a second Chris was going to be able to turn that. Would have had to be an ace if he did.
Is that right, by the way?
What?
16 kills for Chris J. Is that right?
I believe that.
Holy 13
Chris
rounds.
is a beast. There is a reason he has been the longest standing member of this mousesports
Since like 2012, I think it was.
Like, why would you kick him? Like, the amount of ridiculous matches this guy
13.
can have.
Yeah. I remember he used to be called, was it Online J? People didn't believe he was that good until he went to LAN and shut everyone up very quickly.
That always happens, though, with players who are, like, good, but they haven't been to a LAN yet. Or even if they do, some people are like, well, he's still online. It's just because there's the few people that then dodge LANs, but they're either cheaters or cowards. Or maybe they have some genuine problems that stop them going there. Let's not put everybody in the same boat. Either way, early start for Guardian. Be able to get that opener. Okay, this is interesting. They're trying to set up, I think, that little sideways jump again. But the smoke won't really help them out too much.
Oh my gosh. Not the first time we've seen Rops spamming through the ground. And not the first time Reigns felt the punishment of that.
Yeah, you would start to feel a little bit worried, especially as you know that of all the players, Rops probably knows every single angle in existence. Like, we actually saw Rush, I believe, go through a flashbang that he sort of showed, and it was like a little pop flash that you can do from Pop Dog, which bounces up the ladder, back through the window and out behind so that you can blind all the people around the A site. It is a sick flash. And I
wonder how many hours he just sits there with like cheats on, just like testing angles, testing wall bangs. Like, to be fair, I remember Anders is always like tough.
The timing.
That's unfortunate for Nico.
Yeah, and Olov is so low as well. Chris again has a chance to turn this back. Great shot from Rops as well. Rain's been getting decimated, but Guardian has started to step up with the AWP. Do they really not know that Chris is still around? Here he's going to get another 2. This man is on fire. There's little time left, so Neo actually has a chance. If he drops the bomb, he can win the round. He's going to do just that. It has to be the kill, and all he has to do is hide. It may have been a great round from Chris, but he knows he needs his final second kill, and he's not going to get it. Neo will clutch out a round for FaZe, but damn, that was close, and mainly just because it seemed that they went, okay, so Chris has gone around that way. There's no way he continues pushing any further. That would be silly. He's probably just gone back and just hanging around Ivy. No. He almost killed you all. Come on, FaZe Clan.
He's on 19 kills, FYI. I mean, he did the round before, right? He pushed the smoke towards Connector. He took down Neo on the reload, turned around, killed Guardian. Like, he's pushing these angles that FaZe Clan are just not prepared for, and it's working out so well for him, which is why we're seeing him pick up so many kills, and the rounds are reflecting it. 9-4 is a very good half for T-side of Train, and they're not even done with the half just yet here, Tom.
Well, he is also one of the masters of the SG. Like, he has been playing it before people started to realize it was better and before the price drop. And also, the second the price drop came in, he was like, okay, I'm just going to use this now. And that is one thing that you have to give props to Chris J for when he finds a weapon that is maybe unorthodox or slightly overpowered. Like, for example, the jumping scout was always pretty much just, okay, it's used by Chris J and MBK. Those were the two I always remember using it. And there was a quote from MBK who always used to say, like, I'm not going to stop using it even if I think it's stupid.
Funny enough, MBK was one of the first SG users I remember as well.
Yeah.
So I guess the two innovators of Counter-Strike when it comes to play styles or weapons. And we see the flashbang come through. Oh, Meister with the hump, gets down two. Not gonna take down Kerrigan though. And either way, he gets the damage done. And considering the weapon he had, he could not have hoped for more than that.
Yeah,
or nearly as much as that.
He was the one player with a weaker weapon, and they had to make some sort of play like that just based off utility. Like, they don't have enough to hold back mousesports, so try and take some aggression, try and get someone early on. If he dies without anything, he had a UMP. It's not a big loss. The rest of us will fight on in his memory. And they're going to do that now anyway. Still, a 4v3. We've seen Frozen and Robs both been brilliant at getting these entries into the site, but this time they have been spotted by Rain. The information is there at least that they're trying to brute force this, and the rotation again coming back from Guardian, but Kerrigan will find one. It's still just going to be the quick trade back. Looks for the flick, and it's not enough. And now Frozen has to try and clutch, but Guardian in from behind. 9-5 FaZe Clan slowly starting to come alive a little bit. The only question I have is 9 rounds on the T side of this map too much?
Well, time will tell. They still have at least one round here to pull off. You can see mousesports, finally in the last round of the half have their economy hurt. Even after, since the second round when they bought up and won after losing the pistol, they've just been nonstop being able to buy, and create the FaZe Clan to be able to still battle out against them. But now we start to see, Kerrigan missing a little bit of utility. But that's just about it here. And I feel like FaZe Clan's really been able to use ladder room quite consistently to punish mousesports. I feel like there's a couple of rounds now, like Nico hiding there, Guardian hiding there in the last round, that they've really been able to win just based on the fact that mousesports not checking it, and not checking Nico as well as he takes down two. However, Kerrigan and Woxic going to be able to trade back. Rain going to be tucked up in towards heaven though. I'm not sure if they'll actually check this angle. The smoke might dissipate in a second and might give an angle for Rain to take down Kerrigan. However, Neo's going to fall. Rain comes in and Rain chimes from above. And Olaf Meister to finish off the last kill. That's going to be Rops falling, and FaZe Clan coming back after being down a hell of a lot of rounds. They will be able to take at least 6 on the CT side. We'll find out what they can do on the T side here after a short break. Welcome back, everyone, to our first map here between mousesports and FaZe Clan. We've got Jason Kaplan and Tombiz going to be commentating the rest of this match. And the last of the Group B stream, actually a little bit sad to see it end. It's been quite a good couple of days. But of course, the big stage is what all these teams are playing for, and not to mention playing for that semi-final spot here in this best of 3.
Yeah, decent comeback from FaZe, and now we get to see if they can build into things. Nico already kicking things off, and Chris J going to be tagged low. Nico will get the second. They really are looking to get this pistol under their belt. 4 rounds in a row, 1 at the end of the last half, and it doesn't seem like there's anything anyone could do at the moment on the mousesports side. It's going to be left onto Rops and Carrigan. They do at least have a kit, but no utility to either smoke the bomb or try and get some openers using the flashbang. So it is just going to have to be the raw individual aim of these remaining 2 players. And so far, not so good, as already Carrigan getting tagged, the Rops already dead. FaZe Clan take a clean pistol round and now look to build into their T side.
Let's not forget, though, they did win pistol round on CT side, and then mousesports bought into it and then stopped them. Though, obviously, on the T side, you can control the pace you do attack with. I have to play a little more defensively here, but we're gonna see the double scout, Woxic and Chris J. That's
why wouldn't you?
That's scary. That is a scary thing.
I could, like, if Carrigan had bought one as well, I wouldn't have even been mad. Like, they've got so many players on their team that can use the scout, so a relatively safe buy coming in from FaZe Clan as well, and I do not blame them, because as we sort of said, the 4 spies from this mousesports side have been deadly, just as FaZe Clans have been, so. Or can be, I should say. We haven't really seen too much of them in this match, and already Woxic going to start things off with a tag. We know that the more of these he gets, the deadlier those pistols become. 1 shot to the deagle could be enough to finish off one of these remaining players, and just in fact going to opt to smoke away, maybe just hoping to bait Woxic into thinking there's still more players here, but they're actually going to opt to rotate.
It reminds me of the double scout we had yesterday on Overpass, actually. What match were we casting when that happened? I'm trying to think, actually. If I'm not mistaken, it was G2 versus Cloud9. Yeah, there we go. And we had automatic and another, I can't remember who it was, pick up double scout, and they had a nade off the back of that too. So looking for the scout shot and the nade in. No nades really picked up, only Chris J having one in his hands. But it looks like FaZe Clan are going to be rotating towards the inner site, where we're going to have Rops waiting, as well as Carrigan, as Chris J's rotated over towards Z. Looks like the set smoke's going to come through, and that call is going to be made for the rotations to come through. Only thing is, we've only gotten 1 tag. Olofmeister on 29 health, so the pistols, as you mentioned, can be powerful against him. However, you're still going to have a lot of other players rushing down against you. Rops, can he do anything with this? He gets the first on terrain. That's a full HP target now out of the fight. I can see Gardner rotating around the side as he takes down Carrigan, and Gardner might go for more, but Chris J is going to shut him down, and it's down to a 3-on-3.
Yeah, the other 2 players, both with scouts. Peekin from Frozen needs to connect this shot onto Nico, missing a lot, and eventually Nico's there to put him down. This is going to be a really tough position now for the remaining CT players, not including the fact that neither of them have armor, and Chris J only has 2 HP.
They got 2 one-shots, at least. Okay, well, they're going to run away. I was going to say, they have 2 players they can one-shot. But instead, just going to save the scouts, so going to be saving to the next round. Again, like the scouts, we saw automatic on Dust 2 with the scout at long A get a double headshot. You can pull off wonders, and I feel like in this tournament, we've seen so many rounds, one, that just teams should just never win. Like, as in, not buying up eco rounds or forcing with, like, the shottiest of buys. The FaZe Clan are 1 step closer to tying things up at 9 apiece.
Yeah, I think it's, especially on train, it's very important to make sure you are very safe with these sort of rounds, because the CT side especially, you want to make sure their money is kept honest for the majority of the match. That's something that mousesports actually did very well in the early parts of this game, and it was only really when the money started to build for FaZe Clan, well, then they win 4 rounds in a row. Before that point, what were we looking at, an 8-2 scoreline or something of the sort, or maybe even more? I can't even count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. 9, there you go. It's almost like I counted up in my head and didn't just look at HLTV.
You were doing it from memory.
Of course.
Woxic and Chris J. We got where Chris J currently going to be holding towards old bomb train. You got Woxic holding towards Ivy, and this time he's not going to be so... Actually, well, he does get the tag onto Neo.
He still gets the tag.
But this time, Olofmeister is not going to be the one to take a shot, and we'll get the kill on towards him, as well as a second. Chris J now going to peek in, who gets the tag on Olofmeister, and more importantly, gets away with his life. 3 players on low HP now.
Is this going to be the identical round we saw out from FaZe as well?
Right.
Where they do loads of damage, but they don't get any kills? I think at least on the other side they killed one, and then the remaining 4 players were low. So we'll see if Rops can keep things almost identical. Neo, bit of a risky push, and well, there's the one. An extra $300 for Rops. He does have Kevlar, and although it's not the most, well, it's not the best or most exciting save in the world, it's still something. It's Kevlar. I don't think he's taken any damage to it either, so if he wants to, he can just spend the extra $350 to get the head armor. Not really in the best place to try and get some sort of save, in a fairly tough position to actually get a weapon out of. It's looking like he wants to try and sneak back into this site. Not going to spot anybody out, so he's just going to go running away. You have to get quite far away to make sure that he doesn't lose any Kevlar, and I think he will, so probably won't be buying back up head armor into the next round. But in all honesty, the only minute effect that will have is maybe he'll get one shot by Galil, and I think that, in all honesty, it's not really worth spending the extra 1,000 on.
They do have a Quadog, not Quad, what's 5? I can't remember 5. Quintog?
Orgful.
No, it's not awful. It's the Quintog.
Okay.
Well, let's see what they can do. Let's see if that pun was awful enough, and hopefully not awful around here for mousesports, as they have lost quite a few rounds in a row here, unable to pick up a single round on the CT side. But things might be changing. As Chris J, who only has 1 kill after we talked about him having 19.
Oh, nice entries though. The same sort of push coming in from FaZe Clan as they now open up this site, leaving Woxic and Rops to try and defend. And Rops is actually looking at the other side of the map, still wondering. They will near the plant. Woxic's at least going to be able to put down Olaf. He's made this possible, but the T's already gathering up such strong off the plant positions. Nobody coming in on the flank either. It's an almost impossible scenario, and they don't have a kit either. So this is just going to have to be some sort of miracle play out from mousesports if they're going to be able to counter this. Tapping the defuse, just trying to bait some of these players out. But even still, the clock is ticking, and Guardian will put down another. It's left onto Rops, and I think the escape plan has to be made for him to just save this weapon. A fast round from FaZe, and nothing that mousesports could do.
Make it a little bit expensive, though, as he drops down Neo. I think that's an important kill coming through. Important 2 kills for him in that round, even though they were not going to be able to save it. Just for the fact of, controlling the economy at a FaZe Clan, trying to do the best you can, Obviously, they have, 10k on Olaf Meister, 7.6 on Neo. But anything you do can help. That extra flashbang, that extra nade, or maybe the upgrade to the AUG over an M4 is something you can never forget about. But we're going to see mousesports back on like a half force. They have some deagles in there. They have some armor as well, but they've been relatively quiet. Like, for instance, Chris J has only gotten 2 kills, and I want to say, like, the last 5 rounds? 6 rounds, maybe?
Yeah, he was playing a very aggressive, aim-based play, so it's very easy for players to slow down. Guardian already going to get the opening pick. I'm hoping that we'll see, well, we should definitely see 1 op in the next round, but I'm hoping we see a couple, because I think Chris J is one of the deadliest secondary AWPers you pretty much have in Counter-Strike, so there we go, though. Frozen does manage to, again, make things a bit more costly, but he doesn't realize that Ivy has been completely lost, and the remainder of the CT side are going to try and pressure Nico.
Yeah, but he's heard it.
Yeah, he's also not the person I'd like to pressure either, but he misses the shot. He gives away a gun. That's something for Chris J to retrieve. They now have a couple in this retake. It's seeming to look possible as Chris J now has awoken. He hears the calls from Kaplan as Guardian looks to try and shut him down. The bomb ticking away. Rops has got a kit, though, so they do actually have the time to play with. The Guardian burning all the way down, but he'll survive. Woxic, however, has managed to close one more. It's left onto Guardian to try and save this. He'll stop one, needs the kit to defuse this, and it's going to be very close, but I think they don't have it. I think the bomb's going off, and it will be another round for FaZe. Guardian does just enough by finding that kill, and I think just picking up the kit like 0.1 seconds too late was enough for the round to go the way of FaZe, but damn was that close.
Yeah, Krista really opening things up, as you mentioned, taking down Nico, missing that shot, and picking up a second, and Guardian burning down to 11 HP, but staying alive long enough for the AWP to do the work they needed. And FaZe Clan now are up 11-9 as we head into round 21. Money, not perfect on their side, but you can see they have everything, even the kitchen sink, to throw into this round. Or mousesports, they have a double op setup, and this is where things can become dangerous for FaZe Clan. If mousesports can win this round, maintain the double op, and start to build up some momentum, we could see mousesports easily turning this match on its head. As Chris J will get the first kill on terrain. Nico going to be caught looking the wrong ways. Frozen, boosted up in Z, gets that. But it looks like they're going to be coming out of Pop and coming out of T mid. Only into their deaths, though, as Woxic is now waiting, and instantly FaZe Clan's like, all right, well, we tried heading towards upper on inside, and Chris J was there. We tried going outside, and Woxic's there.
Yeah, this is the problem. Like, there's not even really a weaker AWPer. Like, I think Chris J can do it as well as anybody.
It's just weird to like ever say Chris J weak op or secondary op to me, like, because you know, back when I was mainly casting CS, you know, centuries ago it feels like Chris J was the opper, Kenny S was the opper, you know, these big names, and now to hear him be secondary, it's just it feels dirty, you know.
To be fair, the people he's been second AWP to are Oscar and Woxic, who are two of the most prolific AWPers that we have. So it's not really much for him.
Oh
and
my god!
Chris is still gonna just enjoy himself with that AWP. Olaf will at least trade back one with 26 HP, 26 seconds, and 4 players to find. It's not happening. 4 kills between the AWPers, and Frozen will chime in with another. And mousesports, they've hit their 10th.
This is where it's going to be starting to be good for them if they can continue this pace. I wonder though if they lose, you know, a couple rounds. I feel like it's going to take too long for them to be able to build the economy they need to have a double op yet again. And I almost want to say, like, that was their first round out of the last 5. Well, 6 technically.
Well, yeah, technically more than that.
Yeah,
like
if you want to go back to them on T
exactly.
side. But if they need a double op to win these rounds and they lose the double op setup, it's going to be tough times here for mousesports, especially as they head over to Vertigo. But luckily for them, FaZe Clan going to be on the save with the P250s. Nico already able to get out of T mid. It looks like the stock's going to be working out for mousesports. Only Rop's going to be on the inside, but the pressure's going to come in.
Looking to try and maybe get a bomb plant, do a little bit of damage here, but it's not happening. Guardian now left alone as the remaining lurk player. He's just going to be looking to try and sneak in, but... Oh. It's the dink as well. That's one of the players as well. When you have a pistol, if they're jumping like that, that's the most annoying thing in the world. Like, I can tell Guardian was just sat there going, are you actually just... Are you taking the piss? Like, why are you jumping up and down? Can you stand still for a second? He still hits the shot, and then Chris just wrecks him anyway. So, no damage done. It will be the CT side building up cash, and as you mentioned, they need to if they want to continue this double up setup if things go wrong. The T side themselves, though, their buy is not particularly good. We spoke about how much damage they managed to do in the pistol round that they had, where they had the saved AK onto Rops, and this is sort of the result of it. Molotov going to be expended, but the rest of the team still facing towards upper B, at least for now. Rops as the solo defender.
I respect the buy to FaZe Clan, though, because it seems they realize if we can somehow win this round against mousesports, I think we shut down the potential for, like, double op, at least in the long run. I know they have, you know, a lot of money on Rops. I know Woxic has enough money as well. But they can do a lot of damage and maybe limit some utility out of their side.
Yeah, but it would be better, obviously, to start winning rounds early. I'm never going to go against that, but there'll still be another double op in the next round. Chris J through the smoke, manages to get an opener. The second, that looked bang on, but it was close. It doesn't matter, though. He's got the support from Rops, and FaZe Clan have been stopped in their tracks, but a nice shot from Guardian. It gives them the space to get on towards the bomb site. Chris J already with a quick rotation and a flank still coming in. It's a tough spot, and normally you want to get aggressive in these situations, but there's no space to. Rops with another double, and Woxic puts it down. The flank just didn't even get there in the end. As again, it's Rops. We talk about him. He's that B anchor player. It's a tough spot to hold. It's a high pressure situation. Did it flawlessly.
Would you expect anything less out of him?
No, I would not.
Well, you know what? mousesports is starting to go on a roll here. Turn into an avalanche as they are now up 12-11, taking the lead back for themselves, still maintain the double op setup, and a lot of economy behind this. Whereas on the other side, for FaZe Clan, they're looking at an 11-13 at the moment, unless somehow, I'm not going to count them out just yet. The amount of times I've done that, Tom, in jinxed rounds, well, it's just too many to count. And of course, anytime Nico has a deagle, you can never really predict how that round's actually going to go. But they're going to need some kills here and ideally figure out what to do against a double op setup. I feel like almost an execute would be perfect. They tried there with the smoke to block off Chris J. Or oh, okay.
Bye.
All right. He picks up the AWP and gets away.
Yep, just gives it straight over to Nico. I imagine that will be juggled back to Guardian. So We know that there's plenty of clutch players in this team.
Oh, Olaf hits these. God, come on.
Yeah, you are right. You are very good at jinxing things, Jason. Thank you for that. Although, Guardians managed to open up onto the B side, and that was the only defender. The rotation, well, it's actually going to be a longer one taken from Karrigan. He's going to opt to wrap all the way around. The flank also coming in from Frozen. 16-year-old looking to try and make his way back into the site. They've retrieved some weapons, but you have to bear in mind, no utility and no armor. Pop Flash will actually give away his position, make some sound, and Rain's got aggressive into the connector, but he's now gone. There's left onto Guardian. 1 versus 3, and they're already up towards the bomb. He misses that first shot, and that will be his doom. It's going to be another round on the board, but not bad overall from FaZe. 2 players dropped. Won't be the biggest win for them. It's actually getting the bomb down, which secures their finances. Probably not only for this round, but also the next.
Well, the good side is for mousesports, they recovered the double ops too. So they don't have to reinvest back into these. They save a lot of extra money, even if they come into some hard times into these next few rounds. But as we hit round 25, FaZe Clan are running out of time. I honestly have no clue how Vertigo is going to go. Like, we've cast it, I think, twice now. I still feel like it's a very wonky map. I feel like a lot of the pros out there are kind of feeling the same, that it still needs to be reworked before it becomes,
I think it's hard to be
playable at a high level.
I think it's really hard to be consistent on that map. And I think the only way people have really been able to do that is by getting it against teams who aren't particularly good. Like,
right.
It's hard to see sort of multiple teams match up on that map who actually play it consistently. Like, you have teams like Furia, who I would say sort of led the way, at least initially, but now people are just stealing a lot of the executes that are coming up, even if it's on like Reddit or something like that. So I'll be interested to see Rain's position given away, but he still wins the duel versus Frozen. However, not versus Chris. It's still going to be back into a 4v4.
31 kills for him.
He is beasting it, but that is the Chris J factor. He can show up at any moment and just take over a match. Although he may be considered a secondary AWP, sometimes he is second to none.
Oh, Karrigan. It's a little bit unlucky there as Guardian does turn to look last second, but he gets the tag onto him and more importantly stays alive with his life. And he's going to rotate back in towards the bomb side. Navy's going to push out. Chris J going to be there again. Hits another shot. Not taking a single point of damage yet in this round. And now Nico going to be flashing. Karrigan jumps in backwards and still somehow gets the kill against Nico. Nico's going to fall. He gets the second. And Karrigan comes out with 2. And mousesports comes out with round 14.
That looked like some sort of Call of Duty trick shot where you like, I'm going to 180
Was that his application to FaZe Clan?
Yeah, that was it.
Or I guess their application to rejoin.
Yeah, no, he's basically like, well, you know, FaZe Clan, you dropped me, but I can do this. And it's just 180, flick shot. Just
no scope.
Now he needs to get that as the final round kill.
That would be good. That would be good. 32 kills for Chris J, 103 ADR. He has been doing God's work.
I feel bad for Rain, just looking at the ADR stat, where you look at how many kills he's got, and then Guardian is below him with double or more than double his kills. Like, that is ridiculous. That's a really weird scoreboard, actually.
Yeah. By the way, so real quick, Chris J, 10 2+ kill rounds. Karrigan, 7 2+ kill rounds. That's ridiculous. That really is.
He's also leading the way in opening duels as well. 5-on-1. So, yeah, strong performance from Chris J. I don't think you needed us to tell you that. You can see the scoreboard for yourself.
He's doing that well enough himself, yeah.
Here we go. Another brute force round, and Rain is going to kick things off. Quickly traded out Karrigan. He's just run all the way through. The footsteps not heard, and he's looking for more. Karrigan just doing everything for mousesports. He is slaughtering his old team. And I bet they regret it now. 15-11, looking to take that first map. Their choice, of course, Vertigo. We do not know what to expect from mousesports, but Train has been their bread and butter for a long, long time. We're going to see another tactical pause taken from FaZe Clan. It's difficult to know what they really say in these sort of situations because...
Maybe they're like, should we have kicked Karrigan? was that a smart move?
Wait, we're FaZe Clan. We still have lots of money, right?
Oh, can we buy him back?
We've still got lots of money. Do we? Because nah, that'd be awkward, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I've seen it before. I try to think of the team. I think it was either mousesports or like Penta.
With Stico.
Way back in the day.
Well, it happened more recently.
Yeah.
With Stico as well. It's like, look, we don't need you anymore.
Hey.
Actually, we kind of do.
It might
but
happen
we don't
for
again.
Could it happen for NRG?
Bring back Daps, although he's not left, so it's kind of weird.
He's like, is he still under contract with them, I'm guessing? I don't know.
I would assume so, which, again, they can... This kind of works out, in a sense, for NRG, because they can now sell him for more if he plays very well.
Right.
But let's move on from that. This is 15-11 scoreline. It is the investment from the T side, of course it is. They don't really have a choice to eco in this scenario. But it's not a good buy. Limited in terms of Molotovs. I think the only one they've had has just been thrown out to counter Rops.
You know, credit, by the way, to mousesports is that FaZe Clan has tried changing the pace. They tried being quick. They tried being fast and aggressive to stop the double up setup. But it's just not been working. Kerrigan's been in such a good position so many times to stop whatever FaZe Clan are throwing at them to allow his double ops to really do the work they need. And well, it's going to be a one-for-one trade. Frozen for Nico. And they're still relatively split across the map. You can see two players heading there over towards ladder. Neo, that's a shot they needed, but Chris J is going to be there, and Chris J will get the kill again. 34 for this man as he gets his first kill of the round, and most likely not his last.
Oh, they've spotted Woxic, though. Given some space, but Chris trading everything back that he can. Spots out Olov as well, but being tagged down. Shouldn't get anything from here. And it's left onto Rops. Did they hear him flanking? They did, but they can't stop him. The 1v1.
Oh.
See, that's actually just to break the window, I think. That's his fake flash, because that is the exact sort of flash we learned from him before. He's in the 1v1, spots out Olov, does some damage, but he's not going to get the kill just yet. 30 seconds left on the board, has the incendiary. Still, he's been shot, but taken 2 damage, so still in the advantage, but Olov hits the headshot instead. Keeps this going for FaZe Clan, 15-12, and he'll even retrieve an AWP for Guardian.
Yeah, but the economy is still not really there for them. Look what they have, 3,800 for Neo, 32 for Rain. On mousesports side, well, you know what? Double op setup yet again going to be happening. Chris J most likely going to be picking that up at 35 frags. What's up? What's that face you're making? You either have to poop or something's really putting you off on there.
Plus 22. Ugh. It's gross. Too good. Even still, though, it's only 3 rounds. Like, the difference is only 3 rounds. There is still the possibility that FaZe Clan, after all this talk of Chris J, okay, that didn't work. I like that. If at first you don't succeed, give up. That is my mentality in life. Crashing going to be taken into pop. I wonder if they're going to finally throw in that, yeah, the double pop control. We did see in the last round the attempted drop down. It was a 1-for-1 trade, so for the T side, not ultimately too bad. Instead, it looks like they're going to set up towards B.
Rob's getting flashed in to go for a shot. Thing is, the 2 players in towards ladder could easily rotate once this execute comes through. There's going to be a player, actually, Olofmeister, lurking over towards Ivy. The smoke going down. Kerrigan has an inkling that there's going to be a player pushing. Look at them both on the opposite sides of the smoke, looking to go in. The push in the meantime has happened in towards inner, and Olaf, once that push comes through, catches Kerrigan looking the wrong way. Rob's getting shot, doesn't know from where. Trying to spin around, takes down Neo. That's the bomb now down. 30 seconds left to go. He's looking for a third, and he's gonna get it as well. It's all gonna come down to Nico, and Nico will fall, and mousesports will take the first map of the series.
What a fantastic game. Overall, like, I think Chris J has to be the one to give him the main highlight, but in all honesty, when we talk about FaZe Clan, we talk about them having huge individual players. Like, that's what this was. They were built as the super team, put together of, like, all the best players they could pick up at the time. And they have just been outgunned by mousesports. Like, that's what's happened there. We've had Kerrigan running in and getting triple spray downs. We've had Chris J doing everything. Like, 35 kills, come on.